Okay, so I'm starting with pencil, and we're going to start by drawing this center of the flower. So I'm just going to do a circle. Don't worry about making it too perfect. We want it to look natural and realistic, so we don't want it to be a completely perfect symmetrical circle. So same thing on the inside here. There's a little area that is kind of different texture for the center, so I'm just doing it. I made it a little bumpy so it looks more realistic. For the petals, we're going to start at the edge of the center. I'm not going to try to draw every single petal exactly how it is here. We're just going to kind of freehand it and make it up as we go. So I did one petal like that. I'm going to come across to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing but make it a little different because we want them all to be unique. So now over here I'm going to draw a petal and over here. So now we have 4 petals, so it'll help us to make our flower pretty even and not get kind of bent as we go, because sometimes if you start here and then as you go the petals start to kind of warp. So we want them to be here as guidelines. Now I'm going to add petals in between these petals. And same thing, I'm trying to keep them a little different. I might make some of them kind of curve and bend. And we just keep doing that same process where you go in between. Some of them might overlap. That is one way to make your sunflower look more realistic. Okay, and last part of the petals is to go one more round in between each one. So now we're not going to see the entire petal. It's going to start right here, and we're only seeing the top. But we still want to make sure that they look a little different and they're all unique. There we go. We're now going to draw the stem, which is just going to be 2 parallel lines that are pretty straight, and it's pretty thick. Sunflower stems are pretty wide. Okay, and we can add a leaf. I'm going to make the leaf on here a little easier than the one in the picture because it's kind of turned in a challenging way. So I'm just going to first it starts kind of wide and then comes to a point like that. And if you want to add the little jagged edges like the real sunflower, you can go back over it once you get the shape mapped out. Okay, and then add the veins. And there you go. So here's the basic outline. Now let's go ahead and work on coloring it. So when you're coloring, you can really use any materials you want. I'm going to do a combination of materials. So I'm going to do a mixed media drawing, which means I'm using more than one. So I'm going to use markers and colored pencils. So first I'm going to go through and add some details using the marker, and then I'll go over it with colored pencil. So in here, what I'm going to do in this circle is outline it. And now I'm going to add little circles on the inside. So I'm just filling up the whole area. Little circles to represent the seeds in the sunflower. There we go. And on the outside, same thing, I'm going to outline it. But now I'm going to add kind of zigzags all the way around. And I'll just go on top of it and layer it until I get to the very outside. There we go. Now when I go to color it, I'll just color on top of the marker, and the details that I already created will stand out really nicely. Now I'm going to take a yellow marker and just color the petals, which I'll then be coming back with colored pencil to add some different values and details. Now I'm going to take a yellow-orange colored pencil, or you can just do like a light orange, wherever you have, and I'm going to color along the edges between the petals. So this petal is behind these ones, so I'm just coloring in between it a little bit darker. So this one's behind, so I'm coloring it a little darker. Anywhere where it's kind of overlapping or the petals are next to each other, you want to make them look like they're more separate. So in the spots where it's closer, I'm going to press harder so it's darker. And as I come out into the more open areas, I'm pressing lighter. We want it to be a smooth transition from dark to light. So I'm dark here. Now I'm just slowly fading it out by using less pressure. Okay, so that's how you do it with the back petals. On the petals on top, what you want to do is use the same color to just do a few lines and just color like a little section. It just makes it look more realistic and like it has some folds in it and some details. Okay, so I'll go ahead and finish this and then we will work on the stem. To just use two different color greens. If you don't have these colors, that's fine. If you have just like a dark green and a light green, that will work. If you have a yellow green or a blue green, just as long as you have two varieties. So I'm going to start with a lighter color and just color the whole thing. Okay, so now I come in with my dark green, and I'm doing the same thing I kind of did up here with the petals, where I'm pressing hard when I'm next to this area where there should be a shadow, and then I'm slowly, as I come down, making it lighter so it fades and blends in. So I'm going to use this dark green to also go over the veins in my leaf and the stem. Alright, and here is the finished product. Just sign your name or your initials at the bottom and then you are done.